Welcome. In this video, we shall be managing extensions also, and the extension which we shall be managing in this video is our module extension. Fine. Before I started this video, my system was actually shut down, so I will have to start up my database and my server by going to my XAMPP control panel and right clicking, and I'll click as run as administrator, and I will say yes. And I'll simply start both my server and my database. Once they are both up and running, all I need to do is minimize this, and then I'll go to my browser. Once I open my browser, I need to go to my website by typing the usual local host / my website. I press enter on my keyboard. Once my website opens, I'll simply now go back to go to another tab and go to my backend, clicking as usual or by typing as usual localhost / my website / administrator. I need to be sure that the spellings are correct. Okay, administrator localhost Amazon is correct. So I'll simply press enter on my keyboard. Good. Now this is my login page. As usual, I have to log in as an administrator. I will simply log in as admin. After typing in admin, I'll simply go to my password and type in my password as usual. After doing that, I'll click on login. Once I'm in, I'll simply close this. Now I will be coming to the extension here, which is where we went before when we were actually managing our template. This time around, we're managing our module extension. So I rather click on module manager. Alright, once we're in this page, before I come to explain what this means, I'll simply go back to my front end and I'll explain what I mean by a module. Everything you see here, for example, this search, this particular item here called the search is a module. What you have here, this particular thing you have here, where you have this your home sample site and your joomla.org is a module. Where you have this particular picture or image is a module. This particular thing you have here with the title this site is a module. This is also a module. About Joomla is a module. The login form where those who will register on your site will be typing in their username and password is also a module. Now these are modules, or simply what we call modules, and these modules all have their positions. Where you have your search module is a position for it. The position has a name. This also has a name. The position here has a name. The position where you have this module also has a name. This module too has a name. This module calls this site. The position where it is also has a name. Likewise, every module, the positions where they are have a position name. Good. I'll simply go back to my back end, and for me to illustrate what I mean by positions or position names for these modules, I'll go back to my back end. Once I'm in my back end, I would leave this particular environment which which I came into first. I'll have to go to the template manager to illustrate that. So all I need to do is go to extension, and then I'll go to template manager. Once I'm in template manager, all I need to do is locate the template which is active. The template which is active is the protostar template. Beside it, there is an icon with the name preview. Yours might not be active. Yours might look like this. Let me simply disable it first and make it look the way yours will look like, so that you will understand what I mean. For me to disable this, I'll simply click on it, or rather I'll go to this button here called options and click. After clicking it, I will disable it. It's actually active because it's enabled on mine. But I will disable it now. Click on save so that you understand what I mean. Once it has saved, I'll simply save and close. Okay, I'm back. This is how yours will look like for now. Initially, this is how it will look like. Like this is how this icon by the side of yours will look like, or by the side of the particular template which is active will look like, because it has not been enabled. All right. To simply enable it, if you take your mouse to it, what it's telling you is no preview available. So for us to make the preview to be available, all I need to do is go back to these options and click. So that's what you would do now. And then you click on enable. Once you've clicked on enable, you can simply save and close by clicking on save and close. After saving and closing, you notice that the icon at the side of your active template changes. Alright, so all I need to do, I want to see the reason why we did this is so that we'll see the different modules on our site and the position name where they are. All I need to do is click on this icon once. So I click on it, this opens. Once this opens, you will notice that where you have this particular module, the name of the position is position 1. If you look at this place, you see position 1 there. There's another space for a module here called the banner. There's another position here called position 8. Now for the search is always, or rather the search here is in position 0. Sometimes it shows position 0, sometimes it doesn't, but all you need to know is this particular search and your template is in position 0. Alright, now this other module here called this site is in position 7. Likewise, about Joomla is in position 7. The whole of this place here is position 7. We have about 3 modules in position 7. And position 8, the whole of this place here in this particular protostar template is position 8. Now scrolling down, we have another position for module here called footer. We have another position here called the debug position. Now these are the different positions on your site. Remember, this end is just showing you the positions. This is actually, if I come and click it, this is actually my site without showing me the position. Why this one is one showing me the position, and how I got here was simply from the back end by clicking on this. So this now came up just for us to see the different positions we have on our template. Alright, fine. Having known that, I'll simply go back to my back end again. This time around, I will go back into I'll go to extension and now go to module manager, because what we are dealing with in this video now is module manager. Alright, so I'll simply click on module manager. Once this comes up, if I go back to my home, this is a module, this is a module, this is a module, this is a module, and this is a module, and so on and so forth. In this video, I shall be managing this particular module called the search module. Subsequent videos will also manage other modules, but let's manage this our search module first in this video. I'll simply go back to my backend. Here are a list of the different modules which you have in your Joomla. Okay, all right. Now we have them in different pages. We have this particular page is page 1. If I click on page 2, we'll get other modules in page 2. If I click on page 3, there are other modules in page 3. Now these modules have been separated into different pages, but what I want now is for all the modules to be in one page, so I can actually see all of them at once. So all I need to do is to make a little editing here where my mouse is. What this simply means is it's telling it to show 20 modules in a page. Alright, that is why it divided it into 3 pages. But what I want now is for it to show all the modules in one page. So all I simply do is click here and I'll click on all. Once I click on all, I'll wait for it. Okay. Once that is done, I'll simply scroll down now, it is showing me all the modules I have in my Joomla in one page. There's no longer page 1 or page 2 or page 3. Alright, fine. Now, there are so many modules here. And if you notice from our front end, the number of modules we have is just 1, 2. They're actually few compared to the number of modules which we have in our Joomla. Okay, now these modules all have different functions. The only ones you'll be using are the ones that are important. Right, but we shall be managing the ones on our website first. Then later, when you understand what modules are and how to manage them, then you can actually activate every other module which you want. Alright, the module which I want to manage in this video is the search module. Like I said, coming back to my front end, this particular module here called the search module. All I need is go back to my back end. Alright, after doing that, I'll simply look for the module here called search by scrolling down. Now there's a module here called search, but this particular search module is not the one in my website, because if you look here under position, you have it as none. None simply means it is not activated or it is not published. You could actually have the same module more than one in your Joomla. I think this is just a copy of the search, but this is not the search in our front end, so I keep looking for the search. Keep going down. Fine, there's another search here, and it actually has a position, and it's in position 0, which is actually the search which I'm looking for. So to edit it, all I need to work on it, all I need to do is to click on it. Once I click on it once. After clicking on it once, this comes up. Now we're trying to manage our search module. The first item here is details. You have status. Status, you have published, unpublished, and trashed. What published simply means is your module would be shown in your website, or it will appear on your website. If a module is published, it will definitely appear on your website. But if I decide to unpublish it by clicking on unpublished, and I click on save, wait for it to save. Once it's saved, once I go back to my front end, notice what will happen when I refresh. Since I unpublished it, this particular module will disappear. Click on refresh. Now it has disappeared because I simply unpublished it. Alright, so I will publish it back because I need it. I'll go back to my back end and then click on publish, and then I will save it. Once it is saved, I'll simply go back to my front end and then refresh, and then it will come back. Fine, it's back. Alright, I'll go back to my back end and I'll continue. The next thing here under status is trashed. This is if you want to delete a particular module. But it's always important, if you don't want the module to appear in your front end or your site, all you need to do is unpublish it instead of trashing it. Although if you trash it, to simply take it to a trash, just like when you delete items on your computer, it takes it first to the recycle bin, so that if you want to bring it back, you can always bring it back. Alright, the title simply means the title of our module. The title of our module is search, so we'll simply leave it as search because we're not changing it. Show title simply means, do you want this title to show on your module? We'll leave it as show. Position simply means, what position do you want your module to be on your website? Now, this is our search module, and the current position which it is in search position 0. Like I told you, this particular position here is the search position 0. Here, if I come to this, it did actually show us the way it showed us these other ones, but this is actually the search position 0. I have other positions here. Let's say, for example, I want to bring this search module to position 7, as I want to bring it here also, where these other ones are. I'll simply go back to my administrator end, and then under position, I'll simply change the position where the search is by simply clicking here. And then remember you have different. If I start from the beginning by taking this up, this biz 3 is a template, but this is not the template which is active. So I simply scroll down and look at the template which is active. My active template, which I'm using for my website, is a protostar. So this is the only place where I can actually choose the positions which I want. Now, I want it to be in position 7. That is my search module. So I'll simply look for position 7 under protostar. I'll keep scrolling down till I get it. Okay, this is position 7. Once I click on it, it changes to position 7, right? Position 7. If I click on save, and I wait for it to save. Once it's saved and I go back to my home and I refresh, this particular module will be taken away from this position and placed in position 7 with these other modules. So once I simply refresh by clicking on refresh, fine, it is now in position 7. Look at it here, it has been removed from here. It's now in position 7 with these other modules. This is how you change positions of modules in your website. If you want this module to be in this position, you can actually go into this module called this site, just the way you did for search. Then you take it to this position to go there. That's how you play around with your modules and putting them in different positions. Fine. I'll simply take back my search to the position which it was, because I'm comfortable with it being in position 0. Depends on you. So I'll simply go back to my backend, and then under position I'll click and then scroll down under protostar. Fine, I'll simply go back to search position 0. I'll click on it and then I'll click on save. Once I click on save, I'll wait for it to save. Once it's saved, I'll simply go back to my front end and then refresh. My search will come back here now. Fine, my search is back. Alright, I'll go back to my backend and then we'll continue the modification or management of our search module. Alright, we've simply done the position. Access, you leave it as public. Ordering, you leave it the way it is. Start publishing, finish publishing. What this simply means is, remember what publishing means. If you click on publish, it means it will show in your front end. If you click on unpublish, it will be taken away from your website or your front end. Now these options here simply means if you have a particular module and you want the module to be published on a particular date, and you want it to last for a particular period, and then you want your website to take it up automatically, then this is when you will use these two. For example, if I click and I say I want this module to start on the 1st of January this year, and then I want it to finish publishing on the 30th of January this year, I'll simply choose the date here, and the moment the 30th of January this year elapses, it will be unpublished from my site, to simply be removed from my site. So for now, we'll simply leave this the way they are. We're not touching it. But if you want to, you can actually modify it, since you understand what it simply means now. Language, we leave it as all. Notes, we leave it empty. Now what we just finished dealing with now is the details. We'll simply go to basic options. Now under basic options, for this search module, you have the box label. The text that appears in the label of search box, if left blank, it will load label string from your language. What it simply means is, if I go back to my front end, this particular box here is the box, it's our search box. That's what search box means. Now I'll go back to my back end. The box label, you leave it empty. The box width, you leave it as 20. It's simply telling you how wide you want that box. That is, how wide you want this box to be. You can actually increase it or reduce it, but I think we're okay with it like this. Go back to my backend, so I'll simply leave it as 20. The box text, what do you want to be written inside the box? For example, what we have here, the default is search. But what I want to appear here is type here. I want to change this from search to type here. So what I need to do is simply go back to my backend, and under box text, I'll simply click inside and I will type here. After clicking on type here, I will save so that I will see the effect to have on my front end. Once I save, wait for it to save. Then I'll go back to my front end and then I will simply refresh. Once I refresh, watch out what happens here. Now what I have here now is type here instead of search. So if you're okay with this, you simply leave it. If you're not, you type whatever it is you want to type there. Go back to my back end. Okay, we're done with details. We're actually inside basic options. So I'll go back to basic options. We just finished with box text, type here. Search button is no, but we're going to change it to yes. Once I change it to yes, and I click on save, wait for it to save, then I'll now go back to my front end. We'll simply go for a short break and I'll be back soon. Welcome back from that short break. What we're doing is I'll just simply go back to my back end. We're trying to modifying the search module. We've actually finished with this particular place called details. I'm simply going back to where we stopped, basic options. Okay, we've done box text, we typed in type here, which also was changed or was made effective in the front end. Alright, now search button was what we just changed to yes before I went for break. It was in no. I clicked on yes by changing it to yes. And I'll just click on save to save it. Okay, because I actually went on a break, so it has logged me out. I'll simply log back in my back end, type in my password, and I'll click on login. Good, I'm back to my back end. Alright, so I'll simply go back to my search. Remember, it's not the search because this is not the search that is active. I'll simply go back to my search, which is active. Oh, it has gone back to pages. The module has been rearranged back to the way it was before. But I don't want it this way. I want all my modules to be in one page. So just where we did it the last time, I'll simply come here and click on all and wait for it to save it. Once it has saved it, I'll simply scroll down to my search, search. Okay, now this is my search. I'll simply click on it. Okay, I'll go back to basic options. Search button, I just made it yes. So I'll click on save. Alright, so I'll simply go back to my front end and see what happens. Just watch what will happen here. I will just refresh this now. After refreshing it, it brings out the search button here. So whenever your user or anybody that comes to your site is looking for something, searching for something on your site, all they need to do is type in here and then click on this search here. Alright, that is for the search button. So I'll simply go back to my back end, go back to basic options. The button position, where do you want your search button to be? Do you want it to be at the right, the left, the top, or the bottom? If we click here, we have the different options. The one that is active is the right. That is why we have it on the right side in our website. If I change it to left, it will come here. I'll go back to my back end and I'll click on left. Once I click on left and I click on save, once it's saved, I'll just simply go to the front end and then I'll refresh. After refreshing, it brings it to the left, but I rather prefer it to be at the right. So I'll simply go back and change it to right. I'll go to my basic options. I'll change it from left to right, and then I save. So I'll simply come back home, and then I refresh. Alright, so I'll go back to my backend, go back to my basic options. We stopped at button position, search button image. Search button image is an image as button. This image has to be named search button.gif and must be located in templates. slash your template name slash images. We'll simply leave this the way it is for now. The button text will leave it the way it is. Open search, auto discovery, leave it as yes. We just leave every other thing the way it is. And then now we're done with basic options. We'll simply go to advanced options now by clicking. Under advanced options, we'll simply leave every other thing, everything you have here, we leave it the way it is. The next thing I will be demonstrating for you is this module style. The module style, what we have active is no. I'll simply change it so that you understand what the module style does. All I simply need to do is click here. Then I will simply scroll down. Now you have different templates. So I have to look for my protostar template, which is the protostar. This is the protostar template, which is the template which is active for my site. So I'll simply scroll down. Remember what we have is no. So I'll simply change it to well. If yours is not no, if yours is something else, all you need to do is just go to protostar. By scrolling down, you click on well. Once I click on well, I would save. And once I save, I'll simply go back to the front end of my website and then see what that does. I'll simply refresh and then watch what happens here. I need to refresh. Okay, that what happened. It simply made it look like these other modules. If you're okay with it this way, fine. But for me, I'm not okay with it. I want it to just be plain. I want my search module to be plain. So all I simply will do now is simply to go back and undo what I just did, which is under advanced options. I will scroll down. I'll go to module style. I will click. I have to scroll down to protostar and then I'll click on no. Once I click on no, it takes away that particular way it looks like it, the way it looked like earlier. I'll simply click on save. Once I click on save, I'll go to my front end and then I'll refresh. Fine, it has reverted it back to the way I want, and I'm very okay with it this way. Alright, so I'll simply go back to my backend and continue my modification of my search module. We were actually in advanced options and we are done with advanced options. The next one is the menu assignment. Under it, we have the module assignment. What this simply means is, on what page and what page do you want your module to appear? Remember, we're dealing with the search module. What it simply means is I'll go back to my front end. Now this page which we are, this particular page, you know, this page is our own page. If I click on sample sites, it's a different page entirely. We have different write-up here, and we have this site module appearing. Then you have other modules which were not in the home page appearing. This fruit shop module wasn't in the front page, but it is now in this particular, so it wasn't in the home page, but it's now in this sample page. If I go back to my home page, I find out that we only have 1, 2, 3 modules in this position 7, but in the sample sites page, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 modules in this particular position. So these are different pages on your website, and all the pages will have different content or different write-ups. Alright, later we shall be adding more pages when we get to the particular lesson, but for now we're leaving it this way. We're taking it one step at a time. Alright, back to my backend. I was simply explaining what menu assignment simply means. The module assignment simply modifies what page and what page you want that particular module to appear. For example, the module we are modifying or we are managing in this lesson is the search module. Going back to my front end, this search module. For example, okay, I'll go back home. So I click on home page, using back home. Let's say I only want that this is my search module to appear in my home page. I don't want it to appear in my, if I click on sites, page is also appearing in my search sample site page, but I don't want it to appear in my sample site page. So all I'll simply do is go back to my backend and then under menu assignment and then module assignment, I will come here. What we have active here for this search module is on all pages. It simply means it wants this particular module will appear on all pages, but rather I want it to appear for the purpose of illustration only. I'll go back to the front, only in my home page. I'm clicking on the home page now. I want it to only appear here. I don't want it to appear on any other page. So all I'll simply do is go back to my back end. I'll click here and I'll click on only. We have on all pages. No pages. That means it won't appear on any page. Only on the pages selected. On all pages except those selected. I'd rather use this one now. Only on the pages selected. Remember, I want it to appear only in my home page. So all I'll simply do is click on only on the pages selected. Once I click on it, I will make sure the only page which is selected is my home page. That means I need to deselect every other page here apart from my home page. So what I'll simply do is to deselect all of these. I'll simply come here. Instead of me doing one after the other this way by deselecting, you can simply come here and click on deselect. It deselects all in this particular page. Now I'll keep scrolling down, making sure that I'm looking for home page. Because the home page has to be the one that will be selected only. So I'll keep scrolling down. Scroll down. I'm scrolling. Still going down, down, scrolling down, scrolling down, down. I have home page protostar. I'll simply leave this out. What I want is just my home page. I'll keep coming down, still coming down. Okay, I need to deselect the whole of this also. I'll simply click here and click on deselect. I'll keep scrolling down. I'll deselect the whole of this also. And I'll scroll down. Alright, fine, I have home here. So all I need to do is simply leave this selected and I'll deselect this. I'll also deselect the whole of this by clicking here and clicking on deselect. I'll go down, I'll deselect this. I'll also deselect this, then come here and deselect the whole of that. I'll deselect this and this also. I also have home here. So I'll simply leave this while I deselect this and I deselect this. And I'll deselect the whole of this also by clicking. So all I have selected now is home. And remember, if I scroll up, what I actually selected was I want the module to appear only on the pages selected. Alright, once I've done that, I'll simply click on save, or I'll simply click on save and close. I'll click on save and close now. And when I go back to my front end, I'll simply refresh. Once I refresh, you find out that the search module is still active or still appearing in our home page. But once I go to my sample page, it's no longer appearing unlike before. It's gone because I simply gave it an assignment. I said it should only appear in my home page. But the search module is quite important on your website. It needs to appear on every page of your website so that on any page, anyone on your website can actually search for whatever they want in your website. So I'll simply revert back to the way it was. I just did this demonstration for you to understand what that module assignment simply means. Alright, I actually saved and closed before. That is why it brought me back here. So I'll simply go back to my search module. Search module. Okay, this is my search module here. So I'll simply go back there by clicking. Once I'm in there, where I did that was a menu assignment. So I'll simply go to menu assignment and then module assignment. Since I want it to appear on all my pages, so I'll simply click here and I'll click on all pages, and then I will click on save. Once I click on save, I'll simply go back to my front end and then I refresh. Okay, now I'm still in my sample site, but the search module is back. And if I go to my home page, the search module is also there. Sample sites page is also there. This particular page called Joomla.org, if you click on it, you simply try to take you to Joomla's site. We shall be unpublishing this particular, or we shall delete it, this particular page, because we don't need it for our website. But we're simply going to be doing everything one step at a time. Fine. This video has been about module manager. This video has been about managing extension, and the extension which we managed in this video was our module manager, and the module which we managed in this video in particular was our search module. I hope you remember what modules are. I'll simply remind you, I said this is a module. What we have here is also a module. This image is also a module. This site here is also a module. Fruit shop is also a module. All of these are modules. This login form is also a module. And I told you that all these modules have their various positions. And for us to see the positions, if I click here, it's showing us the different positions here. Position 7, search position, position 1, banner, position 8, and the rest. Alright, I'll simply go back to my front end and I'll go to home. Alright, I hope you actually understood how we managed our search module. That will be all for this particular lesson. Thank you.